Hello, welcome to the Brain Scrub. My name is Glenn Sollers. I'm your host. Thanks for tuning into today's episode, which is about the importance of communicating with others when you're going through difficult times. Years ago, I went through a men's weekend, and what happens for a lot of us is we grew up in families where there wasn't a lot of discussion. You didn't talk about your issues. You didn't talk about what was wrong. If you had emotional burst outs, you were sent to your room. So as a society here in North America, I would argue many of us have learned to suppress our feelings, suppress our emotions, don't trust others to talk to them. Definitely don't trust your father to have conversations. And this lack of conversing and having dialogue with others and asking for support can lead to many different challenges in life. I'm not going to get into all the different challenges. However, lots of us just hang on to this stuff, and then we may wonder, what's wrong? Why can't I deal with this? Why is this happening to me? Or we don't even understand the impact of our actions on others. But for me, I never asked for help. I did things on my own. I didn't trust my family would care enough about me to help me with things, nor did I learn how to talk to them about stuff. I grew up hiding from my emotions, hiding from my feelings, hiding from dialogue. I did life alone, and that didn't work out so well. So at this men's weekend, men are there where you're in an environment where you have to talk about stuff, which is completely not normal for many men to do. Talk about their emotions, talk about what's really going on. And by the end of the weekend, you learn to love and embrace men and have dialogue. And thankfully, I went through that weekend because a week later, my ex-wife announced a divorce, and I now had a group of people that I could turn to that I trusted with my life, who were willing to call me on my shit, who are willing to listen to what I had to say, who are willing to support me and show me a way forward versus doing life alone. This summer was a reminder of the importance of that kind of friendship, where you have trust in somebody so much that you're willing to share emotionally what's going on. You're willing to shed a tear. You're willing to ask for help. And what a gift, not only for the person who's asking for help, but the person who's there supporting them and helping them and listening to them. Because again, things don't have to be done alone. And quite often in relationship breakdowns, and this is what this situation was about. I'm not going to get into the details of the situation. However, one person, and this is also ties to the importance of sharing what's really going on, was holding back on providing details of what was going on, and it was eating away at this other individual. And they say the truth will set you free. And indeed, finally came to a point where the truth did come out. It has set him free. He's moving forward, but he wasn't doing it alone. I was on the journey with him. Others were on the journey with him, helping him through this. And thank goodness he's discovered what happened. He's learned a lot about himself, and time to move forward. Folks, this is what I wanted to share. If you are going through a hard time, to be willing to talk to other people. We all have friends. And yes, some of us have acquaintances. Some of us have friends we see on the weekend and party with. Some of us have friends that we've had for a long time. Some of us have friends that are our advisors and we advise them. Some of us have friends that are willing to call us out on our shit and help us go down a path. Now, this gentleman, I first of all want to praise him, and I'm so blessed to have him in my life. I met him a number of years ago, and I love this guy. And when he left, he visited us this summer, I was in tears. I have such a connection with him, And I don't think it's only because we are very similar in many ways, but we're willing to talk about things. So for us, the relationship is much deeper. And I get a lot out of that kind of depth in relationship because, yeah, for me, I feel needed. I feel wanted. I feel that I can express my care, that I can express my support, which again is lacking, I think, a lot in today's society. I was recently watching somebody from Harvard University, and they were talking about how we live in a world where there's so many distractions, where we don't have to try to identify the truth or see the truth because it's easy for us to turn to social media and distract ourselves. It's easier for us to watch a TV show and watch other people go through drama. It's easy for us to be not bored and always occupying our mind with different things. But what this gentleman was saying was that we are running away from being bored. But boredom is so important, because boredom allows us the time to be with ourselves. Not with what's going on in the world out there, but what's going on within. And he stated many of us are scared to do that. Many of us are scared to be with ourselves, to look at what's really going on, what's below the surface, so we can find creative solutions to problems that we might have. Instead, we're running, or not talking to people, or not asking for support, or feeling, I better not talk about that. Because what will people think of me? Or, it's not right to talk about that. I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't burden other people. But folks, this, in my opinion, is the wrong way to approach things. In my opinion. Ask for the help. And when I was listening to this episode on boredom, what I do when I have an issue that I'm dealing with, I'll go for a walk in the forest. I'll just throw the question out there. What should I do about this? And green space brings forth neutrality and a sense of calmness that helps one come up with solutions, helps me reflect, helps me consider, what should I do? What can I learn from this? What's at risk? Versus not going there. So there's a gift in boredom. There's a gift in not distracting yourself, in asking for help, in not keeping things to yourself. Many people suffer alone. I met an individual recently. He too is estranged from his son, and I'm not sure what he went through. I don't know the story, but this happens a lot where people suffer alone. They're dealing with the trauma. They're trying to overcome things. And thankfully, by the sounds of it, he's done a lot of that work to overcome it. But things that have been very traumatic in your life might need some ongoing dialogue going forward, to hear other people's stories, what they went through, to have those kind of friends that you can share this with, that they're willing to listen and not necessarily empathize, because I don't think we can always empathize with people, but just challenge people, ask them some thoughts around it. And so this gentleman that I met, lovely individual, he had a game that we all played. And there's a group of us, and the game was all around self-awareness. So it was interesting because you had to come up with a burning question. And my burning question was, how do I let go of the need to have my son in my life? And why am I clinging on to self-sabotage? So I know by me hanging on to my son, I'm sabotaging myself, and it's leading to more negativity. So the game, it was interesting because it's all done through collaboration with other people, where you're asking other people for their insights. And the first part of it was to really get down to what is the true question. What do you really need to know? And what it came down to for me was, how do I take care of myself while I go through this and wait for my son? And that's really important to me because I don't always take care of myself. I take care of myself physically, but not always mentally. And through this, what happens in this game is there's piles of cards and there's questions that one has to answer based on your vision, based on actions you should be taking. And it asks you powerful questions like, what's at risk? Or what would happen if you don't do it? These questions. Another one is, and sorry, it just came to my mind, is what are you hoping for? What do you want? By answering these questions, and this is what friends are for, you can help people going through challenging times get through their challenging times by giving them the space and the time to not be bored, to be engaged in what's most important, and that's your life, who you deal with. It's not the life of people on TikTok. It's not the life of people on Instagram. It's not the life on people on Facebook. It's your life. Not being distracted by others' lives, focusing in on your life and giving some space for that to happen. What was really magical this summer with this individual that was going through an issue is we had the space to talk and dialogue. We had the space to share. He trusted me. I trusted him. He's a person of integrity. He speaks his truth. And this is the foundation of every relationship, is trust. And when people can trust, they can come together, they can work together, possibilities can come out from that in terms of what to do. We don't have to do life alone. If my friend is listening, just want to say grateful, so grateful to have you in my life. You've changed my life. And I have many friends out there that have made a huge difference in my life, my level of happiness, my level of self-love, and recognizing my gifts and allowing me to present my gifts in life. We all have gifts. And in some relationships, those gifts are condemned or not allowed. And to have relationships where you can have authentic connection with others creates space, a safe space to connect, to collaborate, and do this world in community versus all alone. Thanks for listening.